Happy Friday, everybody. Say, I was in the park the other week with my son, and one thing that I don't know why it came up, it was a random thought. I was thinking of Moravian. He's a psychologist back in the 60s. It might be a little outdated, but everybody's resurrected this theory of the Moravian rules of communication, or at least the tangent that I got off on in the videos that I was looking at. And it piqued my interest because I thought, it has some kind of relevance in your life. Don't use it as rules for living or anything, but I found it kind of interesting in that the Moravian rules of communication encompass a 7-38-55 rule. And again, the psychologist was Albert Moravian. And it suggests that communication is composed of three elements. Number one in the 7% is the words or the verbal, which is interesting. Only about 7% of the meaning in communication comes from actual words spoken. So that suggests that the tone of your voice, and rather how you say it, is the 38%. That's what constitutes the 38%. So that's conveyed through your tone, your pitch, the inflection of your voice, which is interesting. The 55 is body language. Approximately 55% of the meaning is derived from the speaker's body language, their facial expressions, their gestures, and their nonverbal cues. So that context dependence finds that specifically the situations where feelings and attitudes are being communicated. For example, when discussing feelings or emotions, nonverbal cues play a tone in a significant role when more than the actual words used. So there's limitations, of course. It's important to note that these percentages are not universally applicable to all types of communication. But his research focused on the communication of emotions and attitudes, particularly in face-to-face interactions where no contradiction is between the verbal and the nonverbal messages. So those rules highlight the idea that effective communication is not only just what is said, but how it is said and expressed non-verbally. It's an old adage that we've used millions of times in our communication with others. Not what you say, it's how you say it. But understanding and using that combination of verbal and non-verbal cues can greatly enhance your ability to convey messages accurately and really within impact. So understanding those rules can have practical implications in everyday life, particularly in how we interact with others and convey our messages effectively. So how can those messages be applied? Well, again, be aware of nonverbal cues. Recognize that a specific and significant portion of communication is conveyed through body language. Facial expressions and tone of voice can help individuals become more mindful of how they present themselves. It's very important. Being aware of your nonverbal cues can enhance your ability to express your feelings and your intentions and your attitudes more clearly and more authentically. Improving relationships can be another practical use. In personal relationships, understanding the importance of nonverbal communication can deepen connections. That's a big one for me because I'm somebody who always wants to yak and talk. And I kind of ignore that, the nonverbal side of things. So paying attention to subtle cues, such as eye contact, posture, and gestures can help in understanding each other's emotions and responding empathetically. I guess another one that is not quite in the realm of personal relationships is enhancing public speaking. For public speakers or presenters, Moravian's findings underscore the significance of vocal tone and body language in engaging an audience. And effective speakers can not only focus on their words, but also on their delivery and nonverbal presence to convey confidence and credibility. Just a blurb. Not rules to live by, I think, but it was a very interesting thing in the way that you apply it to your life. And also, you reduce misunderstandings. Miscommunication can often rise when verbal and nonverbal messages are inconsistent. Being mindful of both aspects can reduce misunderstandings and ensure that your intended message aligns with how it's perceived. Active listening is another factor. Listening involves more than just hearing words. Don't be thinking of what you're going to say in response to somebody. Actually listen. By paying attention to the speaker's tone and their facial expressions and body language, you can gain deeper insights into their emotions and underlying messages. Building trust and rapport is a little more difficult. Trust is often built through nonverbal signals, such as genuine smiles, open body language, and attentive listening. Building rapport with others relies heavily on nonverbal cues that convey warmth, empathy, and sincerity. And adjusting that communication style knows that individuals can rely more on nonverbal cues. Some do that. And that can influence you and how you adapt your communication style in different contexts. For example, in situations where emotions are sensitive, like delivering feedback or discussing important matters, being mindful of your tone and body language can greatly enhance receptivity and understanding. So in toto, incorporating those awarenesses of Mehrabian's principles into everyday interactions can lead to more effective and empathetic communication. It's not really rules to live by, but just Google it once. Just look up some of the videos and some of the research, and it's kind of interesting. But happy Friday. We'll see you all soon on the other side. Have a great weekend. Peace.